Today we're going to answer a very important question, and that is, how much of your degree do you really use at work? Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor you toward a career to help you create a life you're proud of. And in that endeavor, today we're answering the question/topic of how much do you really use your degree at work. Now, before I get into that, if you're currently on the hunt for a job and you want to have the best resources, best information for you possible, definitely check out my free ebook, The Unfair Advantage. It's a playbook on how to land the perfect job. I go step by step into resume writing, cover letter writing. But if you're looking for a lot more support and you really want to separate yourself from the competition, definitely check out my career prep course. It's a one-on-one session. You and I, we go through your resume, cover letter, we even go through a mock interview process. It's real-time feedback tailored to you. Now, there are plenty of other career coaches out there, and I recommend that you do your research to find the best one for you. The difference between what I bring versus what the other guys bring, well, I don't read a resume writing book and regurgitate that to you. Nope, I actually have industry executive experience and advice and perspective that I bring to the table. This is really important to you because, well, I sit on the senior leadership team. I help drive the business forward. I see why companies hire. I see why companies don't hire. I bring that to the table to you, and I really want to emphasize the importance and value that you get when you work with me. But again, regardless, do your research, find the right coach for you, interview a couple, email a couple, see which one clicks with you, and then go from there. All right, so to the topic at hand, and this is in response to a YouTube comment from Benjamin McCall, and he says, "Thank you for your time and effort. I graduated with a degree in chemistry, but I've never been a wet lab kind of person." Now, for those of you that don't know, a wet lab is someone that actually works in the lab, on the bench, 9 to 5 every day, analyzing samples. And to some people, that's really not the environment they want to work in. That includes myself. I majored in chemistry mostly for medical school. I am looking for a way to use my chemistry knowledge and medical background to do something like what you do. The question I always ask is, how much do you depend on your science degree in your day-to-day business? How much of your job is scientific in nature, reading about various research and understanding biological processes? And how much is purely administrative that does not require any science background? I just don't want to get too far away from the sciences. Thanks again. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this idea of how much do you really use of your degree in the workplace. And I think it really depends on the job. That's number one. Some jobs, it's an easy translation. So one-to-one conversion, what you learned in school, you are actually going to use in the workplace. This is really true when it comes to a more technical job. Maybe you went and did a degree in a technical institute that focuses on laboratory methods, and you're actually learning the practical aspects of that and then translating that and doing chemical analysis in the lab. It's a straight one-to-one conversion. This could also be more in the professional field, such as a doctor or a dietitian, or maybe a physiotherapist, where you are learning a lot of those physiological diagnoses and then how to solve those problems, and you're translating that into the workplaces. Again, straight one-to-one conversion. Of course, I'm simplifying this, but you get the gist of it. Then you have another category of jobs that really forces you to understand the concepts of your day-to-day job. But in order for you to understand that and make decisions in your day-to-day job, you need to draw from your education experience and educational background. Then you've got a category of jobs that doesn't really use your degree per se, but it does draw off your experience in college, such as report writing, research skills, summarizing data, prioritizing what is important versus what can be held for later. These are all important skill sets for you to have. Yes, of course, you may not necessarily need to go to college in order to obtain that. However, college does give you a more structured curriculum and forces you to work on those skill sets. So yes, there are going to be a lot of jobs that don't utilize your degree per se in a one-to-one fashion. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the education curriculum or the college path failed you. Think about it. There are so many industries that are so consumer specific, very niche market. They all have very different functions within those industries, within those companies that require a very specific skill set. It's impossible for a college to teach you those specific skill sets for every particular job possibility out there. It's just not realistic nor feasible for a college to do that. And really, it makes more sense that college gives you the right foundation so that you can then extend your skills to that next level that you need specific to the role that you are facing. And I think a lot of my viewers and those fresh out of school just don't understand that, and it's not really their fault. They just didn't know that. We're taught, we're expected to think that whatever we learn in school we're going to use in real life. The reality is that that's not the case, but it's also a testament to how naive we are coming out of school and thinking that that is the case, and two, which is just how little we actually know out of college. And I think a lot of people just don't know that, and as a result we become entitled. We feel that we deserve a high-paying job or a high-titled job just because we have a piece of paper that says I graduated at a very fancy school. But the reality is that you know very little, and you have to prove your worth and provide value to a company, and you can't do that straight out of college. Now, for me, in my career path, when I first got into the industry, I will tell you that I was using my skill set out of college and my understanding and education with regards to my science degree, and using that in the workplace by way of researching articles, understanding pathological diseases, how that impacts your body, the physiological processes that happen in your body, and how certain chemicals or botanicals can actually help alleviate those problems and those issues. You have to have an understanding of gene expression, an understanding of terminology and acronyms within the scientific literature, where to find these scientific articles, and how to interpret and critique this data. So it was a really good opportunity for me to use my education experience, but in a more practical setting. That said, as I progressed in my career, then you take on a more leadership role, offsetting some of those skill sets for a more managerial / leadership skill set. And this means managing people, understanding how to develop them, how to create more efficiencies and streamline processes, and to look at how you can contribute to the business and increasing value to the business, developing people so they can bring on more value than they're used to create better people, create more leaders. So yes, that's a completely different skill set, and you would never really learn this in college, but it's an important, essential one with regards to career progression. That's just one piece of it. The other piece is that you still have to make important decisions with regards to your specific function of your departments, with regards to quality assurance and regulatory affairs. In order for me to make the right decisions, I still need to have a strong understanding of the concepts, the foundation within the science realm, so I can make the right decisions moving forward that's going to be beneficial for the business, that's going to protect the business, as well as protect the consumers that trust in the brand. In order for me to do that properly, I need to be able to see things from that scientific perspective, but also factor in all the financial and business perspectives, and then come to the right conclusion that way. And the interesting part of all of this is that in order for me to progress in my career, I needed that education experience that I got through my degree. So there you go, Benjamin. I hope that gives you some perspective. Now, with regards to your last point where you say, I don't want to get too far away from the sciences, that is a personal decision. That's really up to each individual. Some people really love the technical aspect of the work. They want to get into the details. They want to work on specific projects. Whereas other people might want to lead others. They want to build out a team. They really want to look at how they can contribute to the business. And it all depends on you and what your priorities are. Now, the traditional path typically is that in order for you to make more money, that means getting promoted, that means getting a bigger title, that means overseeing departments. So the typical path is to go through that leadership progression. And as a result, you aren't going to use your science degree as you further progress along in your career. That said, that's not for everyone, and some people choose to still make good money, to be very, very valuable to a company, but taking on a more technical aspect. So it's really up to you which way you want to go. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any other questions pertaining to this topic, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, or hit me up on my website, 101mentoring.com. If you want to work with me, check out my products and services page. I have my career prep course, as well as courses on how to get promoted or how to demonstrate leadership, even though you aren't a leader just yet. Guys, if you have a question that you want me to answer in a future YouTube video just like this one, go to my website, submit your question that way. It's free advice for you. Definitely check it out. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.